Apoc Krysis is a multi-talented artist from Atlanta, Georgia, best known for his involvement within the underground community of funk music. Apoc fills many roles with his creative mind, and hopefully this video helps you learn a little more about him. Apoc was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, and throughout his youth he was a sporty kid. His main sport would be basketball, and Apoc even said that playing basketball helped him form a work ethic that would be useful throughout his creative journey. Apoc also enjoyed video games, with Mortal Kombat being his favorite. His love for video games would actually be incorporated into his music later in life. From a young age, Apoc seemed to have a few creative bones in his body. As a kid, he actually had aspirations to become a film director. Accredited directors such as Rob Zombie and Sam Raimi would be some of the people he looked up to. The barrier to entry within the film industry would deter Apoc from pursuing this path, but would also spark an interest for his creativity to flourish through music. His passion for film never left, and later in life Apoc would incorporate his love for film into shooting/editing music videos. Apoc grew up in a household where music was being played frequently by his mother. His mother enjoyed music within the genres of R&B, jazz, and blues. Apoc said he enjoyed this music, but it wouldn't be what inspired him to make music himself. Apoc said his first inspiration for him to try rapping would come after discovering the artist known as MF Doom. Apoc's first times rapping would be freestyling joke raps to his friends at school, and he found that his friends actually enjoyed this. At the age of 13, Apoc would record his first freestyle over an MF Doom instrumental through a Rock Band microphone. Apoc uploaded this freestyle to SoundCloud, and it actually gained some small attention from the SoundCloud community, receiving over 50 likes. Apoc showed a couple of his friends this freestyle, and they encouraged him to make more tracks. Apoc had also started to experiment more with production around this time as well. Apoc said after listening to the Memphis rap group known as 3 6 Mafia, he was inspired to make beats himself. During his teens, Apoc was fortunate enough to have family that supported his passion for music. Apoc had a musically involved uncle that gifted Apoc a beat machine after learning about his nephew's interest in music. Soon after this, Apoc would also receive a new recording microphone from his grandparents. With these new tools at his disposal, Apoc would begin to improve on his craft. Apoc said in high school he discovered the Florida-based rap group known as Raider Clan, and he was inspired by them as well. Raider Clan opened his eyes to the fact that it was possible to find success making do-it-yourself music without the backing of a label and professional-grade studio equipment. He also enjoyed the fact that the group had taken a lot of inspiration from the southern rap sound that he was fond of years earlier. This was where Apoc would realize he could incorporate his love for video games into his music when he heard Raider Clan sample a Mortal Kombat soundbite. Throughout high school, it would be making beats that took the driver's seat in regards to Apoc's involvement in music. Apoc said during this time his beats were heavily influenced by a producer known as DJ Smokey. Apoc said despite wanting a DJ Smokey beat, he couldn't afford one at the time, so he did his best to replicate DJ Smokey's sound. Apoc credits an artist known as Nish G as the person who helped him really perfect his beat-making craft. Apoc met Nish through Instagram, and both artists would become members of a music collective titled Dark Art Records Company. Apoc's first release under the stage name Apoc Krysis would actually be released through Dark Art. During his time in the Dark Art Collective, Apoc noticed other up-and-coming collectives by the name of Six Set and Doom Shop. Apoc had his sights set on getting into one of these collectives and was able to use his production skills to catch their attention. The artist MC Holocaust, formerly known as D's Nuts, eventually used one of Apoc's beats for the song titled Bring It Over, which upon its release received a lot of attention. Apoc said after this song's success, people began to reach out to him for his beats, and he realized he could make money selling them. Apoc also caught the attention of other Doom Shop members at this point and began to collaborate with them. After some time of working with different members of the group, Apoc was formally invited to join the collective. Apoc was originally invited into the collective as a producer, however he was starting to release more of his own rap tracks and began to collaborate with other members that way. Apoc said he doesn't like being labeled a producer, and the main reason he even made beats at all was just so he could rap over them. Another reason he said he made beats a lot when he was younger was because it was easier for him to make music during school that way, which I think is pretty funny. He did mention that he enjoyed how expressive he could be with sampling vocal loops on beats, but his true passion lies within rapping. The first song that solidified Apoc as a rapper would be the song titled AK-47. Apoc said this song was where he felt he finally found his sound as a rapper, and still revisits this track to this day for samples and remixes. This song was off a project titled Shoot First, which is actually just titled Apoc Krysis EP on streaming services due to sampling issues. AK-47 was what caught the attention of one of Apoc's frequent collaborators by the name of Freddie Dredd. Apoc and Freddie were both in the Doom Shop collective together, but hadn't really crossed paths before this. Keeping the ball rolling with tracks and beats, Apoc eventually caught the attention of Memphis rap OGs, and Apoc said he even received a shout out from Tommy Wright. A couple years down the line, a full circle moment came about for Apoc when he landed a collaboration with DJ Smokey, whom he was a fan of years earlier. Apoc said he had made enough money through music to buy a beat from DJ Smokey when he saw a rare occurrence where DJ Smokey said he was selling beats. Apoc reached out to DJ Smokey and asked him to make a beat sampling his voice on the song AK-47. Apoc said after DJ Smokey listened to AK-47, he actually called Apoc through Instagram telling him he really enjoyed the track and wanted to collaborate more. The first song that DJ Smokey sampled Apoc was on the song titled Vulture Life from the tape titled Peach Pearls. Anytime I'm able to talk about a full circle moment like this, it really makes me happy and I hope it's inspiring for anyone watching. Apoc actually said that having his voice sampled in songs was helpful when it came to fans discovering his music. After Apoc was sampled in a handful of DJ Smokey beats, other artists were reaching out to sample him. A couple more big artists that have sampled him include Cordell and Simpra. Apoc mentioned being sampled on the track titled Cowbell Warrior by Simpra featuring Ski Mask the Slump God. Apoc said getting his voice sampled was actually a calculated move on his end because when he was younger he would always wonder whose voice was being sampled in beats. A bit later down the line, Apoc filmed his first appearance in a music video for the song titled Cough It Up with Freddie Dredd and Jake. This song came about when Freddie came to Atlanta to record an EP with Apoc and Jake. Apoc said during the trip they turned their Airbnb into a studio. As I mentioned in the intro, Apoc fills many roles with his creative mind and one of those roles includes artist management. Apoc said he always had an interest in the business side of music and was concerned early on about using samples that he couldn't monetize. Apoc would give his friends tips for the business side of music early on and he had been told by others that he should look into being an artist manager. One of the first artists that formally asked Apoc to be her manager was an artist by the name of System Az. System Az was one of these friends that Apoc had given tips to in the past and at some point she asked Apoc to be her manager. During the time he was managing System Az, he discovered another female artist by the name of Jupilux. Apoc said System Az liked collaborating with other female artists and Apoc thought it would be a good idea to connect these two. Apoc, System Az, and Jupilux all collaborated on the song titled Down to Get Vicious. After the collaboration, Apoc formally began to manage Jupilux as well. Another artist Apoc went on to manage is an artist by the name of Krayshawn. Apoc said he met Krayshawn during the pandemic when they were working on an online show together. Apoc said after getting to know each other, Krayshawn knew he had managed 2 other female artists and asked Apoc if he wanted to manage her as well. Another thing worth mentioning in Apoc's career is actually a piece of music journalism he created. A few years back, Apoc made a video essay breaking down the history and sound of the funk genre. Apoc said this video's success actually translated into gaining fans for his music. As far as what Apoc is focused mostly on today, his solo music and his collective titled MYG stand at the forefront. Apoc said he left Doom Shop in July of 2021 and after several months of thinking about what to do next, he decided to start the collective. The name MYG stands for Mind Yogal and the collective currently has about 10 members. Everything Apoc has accomplished is extremely impressive to me and I'm interested to see what he'll do next. Well, that's all for this video. Big shout out to Hopeless for the edit and please subscribe for more mini documentaries on various underground artists.